Now here now, a win for Russia. The Biden administration dropping its opposition on the controversial Russian Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The deal will allow Moscow to double the volume of natural gas it exports to Germany. That pipeline was opposed by the previous two administrations amid concerns it would increase Russia's economic and political power in the region. Julie.
It's not about me. It's about my children, my family. This is what it's about. I got to build my children the future that I want them to have. And you have a setting president that come in and goes to knocking people, knocking their families. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of families that this man has aced.
That is just one of the former workers on the Keystone pipeline venting his frustrations there after President Biden canceled the project on his very first day in office, putting thousands of Americans out of work literally the next day. Daniel Turner is the executive director of Power the Future. He spoke to many of the laid off workers on how they are currently doing, and we do appreciate you coming on this morning. President Biden, as you know, canceled the Keystone pipeline first day. Next day, thousands of people lose their jobs. How are they all doing 6 months later?
Yeah, and I, first of all, want to give a great shout out and thank you to this program, because it was America's Newsroom who 6 months ago gave these men and women the opportunity to tell their story in their own voice. And so we wanted to go back to them 6 months later and say, how are things going for you? And clearly the answer is they're not going well. The Biden administration has made promises of green jobs, promises of a better tomorrow. But if you are one of these thousands of people, for 6 months, you have had mortgages and insurance and utility bills and food bills and no income. And not only is their immediate prospects bad, but the Keystone decision scared off future businesses from even considering building a pipeline. So this is the type of job that you work on for 3 or 4 years, but you're planning your next job. These men and women were telling me for the first time in 30, 40 years, they have no prospects. Wow. And these people deserve to tell their story because the Biden administration targeted them specifically for pure politics.
I'm sensing a double standard here. Maybe you can clear this up, because the U.S. and Germany have reached, as you know, an agreement allowing the completion of Russia's Nord Stream 2 natural gas pipeline. So Putin gets his way. Those thousands of U.S. workers do not. Why couldn't that have been the case with the Keystone pipeline?
Yeah, because I guess the folks who were funding the Keystone pipeline opposition were supporting Joe Biden, and maybe the folks who were supporting Nord Stream 2 were supporting his campaign as well. It's purely about money, right? It's about money and political power. It has nothing to do with the causes, they said. Jennifer Granholm, President Biden's Secretary of Energy, she herself is on record saying pipelines are the safest and greenest way to transport fossil fuels. So they are allowing it for our competitors, and you could even say Russia being our enemy. They are allowed to build pipelines, but American workers are not allowed to build pipelines for whatever reasons. This is about politics. It's not about the economy or national security, and certainly not about the livelihood of these thousands of union blue-collar jobs whose lives have been upended.
Daniel Turner, thank you for being a voice for all of those right now that are struggling at home. We wish them all the very best. Hopefully things turn around. Thank you.
Strong statements there.
Yeah.